right. Okay. All right. We are live. What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharp, here with a very, very special guest. Good friend of mine for years and years and years. You were at the CME too. This is Red Pill Thor. Thor, listen, we've known each other for years. We've never, ever done content together. Welcome, man.
I know it. It's always been a remote webinar
Yeah.
or just us chatting, and we never did content. But you know what? The friendship comes before the content. So
absolutely.
I'm happy to do that.
Good,
for you.
good,
Absolutely.
very good. You got a lot of fans and a lot of support out there. Dre Raven is in the house. He says second. CDL says third. Pro Special says yo. Siege D is in the house. Danger says LFG. Devin in the chat says special in-person event. Hit the. Oh, there I am. There it is. Sorry.
No worries, man.
Can never stop talking. So talk to me about what's going on. If you know what's going on with your health, that situation, just to update everyone, just to let everyone know you're doing all right.
All right. I can do that. So just a little bit back when I went to the CME, to go a little further back.
Okay.
What a great event. Let me just compliment what you do with the CME. And to be a speaker at the CME was very much a pinnacle of some of what I want to do. Because I don't do much content.
Sure.
But to go out there and talk to all those guys that were my friends, many of them before they even got on YouTube.
Yeah.
Before they even got on YouTube, just through various bulletins or Facebook or social media. And that was really nice. When I was out there, it had just been about 8 months before my wife got in a car accident, and she's a full quadriplegic in a chair who needs full-time care.
Okay.
So I was dealing with that for a while. Fast forward, get buffed out. Everything's going great. Come this last February, I lost the sight in my left eye.
Oh boy.
And that, not all of it, but enough to where I better go get some glasses.
Okay.
Now, I actually had symptoms like this once before.
Okay.
Back in 2012.
Okay.
And it lasted about 18 months and then went away.
Okay. And so you were thinking this might be similar to that.
Because I got a pair of glasses and they work pretty good.
Okay. All right.
But looking back, it could have been the same thing. I went in, they took a look at it, and they said, you need to get a brain scan. We need to double check. So I went in, got the MRI. Within 10 minutes of the MRI, they had the ambulances on the way. I had a lemon-sized glioblastoma.
Wow.
Stage 4 end-stage brain cancer present on my parietal lobe and my occipital visual cortex.
God almighty, dude.
So I ended up at Cedar-Side.
That's fucking huge, dude.
Yeah, I know.
My God. Oh, my goodness gracious, man.
So I went down. And I was just scratched. Just got to put some dirt on it and tape, and we'll be all right.
Jesus,
I am Thor. So
yeah, yes, you are. You are Thor.
So I went down and had that removed, and it's enough to where they're going to remove some brain tissue too, and you take a traumatic brain injury, and it must have worked because as soon as I came to, I saw a lot of rainbows, and I just wanted to vote for Biden so bad.
Please tell me you didn't.
Well, I'll tell you what, the doctors laughed and said, oh, he's going to be all right.
Look, if you had come
That's
out,
true story.
Dude, I don't doubt it. And listen, if you had come out and said, make America great again, MAGA, they're all right. Let's put him back under the knife. The surgery clearly did not work.
That's what I was worried about. And then I had a nice Russian nurse. Oh, if you look at some of Glenn's stuff, he has some
very nice.
He has some video of her showering me.
Oh my God, Russian nurse. That is the NSFW.
So it was great, man. It was great.
Onlyfans.com/Red Pill Thor.
Yeah, so Ed Glenn was a great supporter. He ran down there and helped
Good.
So I got to shout him out for sure.
Good.
And then I found out the prognosis, which is, stage 4 end state. 2 months to 8 years is their best prognosis.
Okay.
So we started chemotherapy right away.
Okay.
And I started radiation array to wear on the head all the time. And so that took me down pretty much.
Yeah.
And so doing content's really tough, but I do keep the Dragon Ship up. And you know what? All the dragons have shown up and they've hosted, and you've come on the Dragon Ship as a panel show. And just last week we started getting the same numbers and a little better than Rule Zero. So
all right, hey, there we go.
Half the panel members come on
Rule Zero, yeah.
And which we love those guys.
Of course,
love those and it's turned into some really nice stuff.
Good.
And I got to shout out everybody that when they found out that I had gone down for the brain surgery. I have to shout out Sterling Cooper and Tristan Tate and Pearl.
Wow.
Glenn, because they started a fundraiser, and I got to tell you, I don't want to disclose how much they did.
Sure.
But I mean, it was crypto to other stuff. They immediately got a nurse to take care of my quadriplegic wife, which needs full-time care while I was in the hospital.
Wow.
And trying to get back.
Unbelievable.
And
Unbelievable, man.
I never asked them. They just did it.
Wow.
Isn't that
Incredible.
amazing?
Sterling Cooper, Tristan
and Andy.
Tristan and Andrew Tate. And Pearl. And you know what's interesting, Thor? I remember, if I'm not mistaken, I think you met Pearl for the first time at the second CME. Am I right?
Yeah, I talked with her on Facebook before.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you had talked to her. Okay.
Just about everybody I had talked at some point, and then they were there.
You're connected with everybody, man.
It kind of seems like, because I was just friends with them. I enjoyed making my posts.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I love Nietzsche and I love Schopenhauer, and all those things. So I had a little bit to add, and they liked it. So we were connecting, just in real life. And I like mentorship because my background is a power lineman. Climb the towers, fly in the helicopters, wear steel suits, bond on to 500,000 volts.
So you're a badass, pretty much. You're a badass.
And I've been burned by 12,000 volts. It shredded the skin off my hands and face. That was back in 91. But the part about that is I would train other men so they didn't kill themselves.
Okay.
And you know, about half the time I would be consulting them the way you and I consult them.
Yes. There you go.
Relationships, behaviors, and just being a man.
Right.
A lot of these young guys that come to these apprentices, and I enjoyed the mentorship. So part of me getting onto the Facebook was kind of that.
Okay.
And it led to these friendships that grew into you inviting me to the same.
Hey, man. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And of course, John had recruited me and Myron at the same time.
MLD. Yeah.
And then you came in and we started teaching that stuff through his MEN, and that was really good. That a lot of great friendships came out of that.
Absolutely.
And that's how I got in. Yeah.
How was your, I mean, other than the obvious, how was your mindset? How was your mindset changed in terms of, you know, what you do on a day-to-day basis?
It's been modified, but the only reason, let me update everybody on the health thing.
Okay. Yeah, please.
So have the radiation and the chemo. There's issues with chemo and with the radiation array. It affects your thinking. It affects your ability to heal. I've gone from 213 pounds of 10% body fat down to 190. And so that's hard for me to watch mentally.
Sure.
Because that's not who I think I am.
Of course.
Pain tolerances have been wiped out. So when I bump a counter and it feels like I hit with a baseball bat, that's not me. But right now it is. So that's kind of had to be it. And then on the positive side, you know, with the losses of vision, I mean, I can see out of both eyes, but I had double vision in my left eye pretty solid. That's what the training patch is for.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And just over a week ago, I thought I needed new glasses because I was wearing prism glasses to correct it. And my eyes were blurry. And I went back to the ophthalmologist and we checked, and guess what? The long range vision has self-corrected. It's 2022.
Hey, there we go. Don DeMarco.
And then, the MRI came back. It shows the hole where the tumor was, but no growth. It's no growth. And it's been like that since March. So
I gotta hit the Don DeMarco button. There we go.
That's a real positive.
Wow, how about that, man?
There's some recovery absolutely possible, particularly with I got the clearance to remove the array.
Good.
No more radiation array, which affects your thinking right away, by the way.
I would imagine so.
And then I committed that I'd do the heavy chemotherapy till February to be a year. And then I'm going to quit that too. As long as we got clean MRIs, that's what we're going to do. And you know, I could get into more detail on affirmations and different techniques that I'm using to get neuroplasticity.
Yeah, of course.
To get recovery. It's going to be more, and I will beat it. I absolutely will. Right now, I'm essentially cancer-free. What I'm dealing with is traumatic brain injury from the surgery. And the dyslexia that comes from that is probably the most frustrating. You go to close the window on the second monitor. All right, let's not close it. You want to minimize it.
Yes, right.
And your cursor's over the minimize, and you click on it.
Oh yes, you told me yes.
But you actually close the damn window, and I'm like, oh my god. So that's frustrating. Imagine doing that if you're a site typer.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Oh yes. Right. So you're like,
So if anybody sees my text on YouTube and it's like, somebody gonna translate him? Hey, I thought I was hitting the right buttons.
That's it. Hey, look, we're going with that. Dyslexia. How about that?
That is a side effect, and they think that it might be recoverable. So,
okay, good.
Yeah, that's one of these just freaking annoying as hell.
Talk about the affirmations, because I know a lot of and you know, off the air, I was telling you that I truly admire how you have like you're out and about, you're creating, you've got this book series coming out that I'm going to be a part of. A lot of people, when they get this kind of diagnosis, they kind of go into a shell and they almost give up, even though people around them are like, no, don't give up. It's easy for me to tell a guy like you, don't give up, because I don't have that diagnosis, but you do. So if anyone is or ever was going through this, talk about how affirmations have sort of helped you and your, not just your mental acuity, but just your overall morale and hope.
Yeah, I think that, early on, I had a really weak childhood. I was born 4 pounds, 4 ounces, and I spent the first 3 months in an incubator. I was born at 7 months. Yeah.
God damn.
And so
you were 4 pounds and 4 ounces? Good Lord.
Born at 7 months, had to spend the first 3 months in an incubator.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, I had some asthmatic issues and things like that going through my early childhood. But, as soon as I hit puberty, I started feeling better, and I had a really strong father.
Okay, good.
And so, very individualized and very much into the self-help and the philosophies.
Of course.
And so that helped a lot. He's like, you know what? You're not weak. Tell yourself you're strong. You'll fix it.
Right.
So that was a foundation.
Okay.
And so that really helped a ton.
Good.
And he was a 6'6" Viking,
Jesus
he's
Christ.
Definitely,
Viking.
He named me Thor. Okay.
Yeah, right. Literally. And
So
listen,
now,
a lot of people his name really is Thor. Like that's on his driver's license, his government name. So no, it's not an act. Like this guy's name is actually Thor.
I know, that's so funny. Everybody thinks it's a pseudonym because everybody has pseudonyms. It's like,
no,
somebody was telling me, it's like, you got the perfect internet name because everybody thinks it's a pseudonym, but it's your name.
You're like, no, man, that's my name, dude.
Yeah. But then, as I was, in my teenage years and starting, I graduated early and started working very early in the craft. And, your name's Thor. You got to live up to it now.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
So having something to live up to, having that why, you can endure anyhow.
Yeah, of course.
Nietzsche. And that's, so you have to tell yourself things like that. And what I've learned over the years is that inner monologue that's always working in your mind.
Yeah, always.
You have to set that time aside and at least for a few seconds, tell everybody what a fucking badass you are.
That's right.
No, I'm not talking Dunning-Kruger.
right. No,
but
you're talking
I'm
real.
talking, get right up to the line and put your nose right over it, because that has a psychological impact that's far reaching. So that when shit hits the fan, you don't become an emotional man.
Right.
And you need to have a clear head. How these guys do it that are in combat. They have no quit in them.
Right.
And no matter what happens, it slides off, or it doesn't. But
but they compartmentalize it. Yeah.
Yes. And compartmentalization is a big part of it. It's like, well, the shit happened, but I'm here right effing now, Donovan.
Right.
So what am I going to do right now? And my biggest thing after the affirmations, you don't feel right, things are bad, take action. I don't care what kind of action it is, take an action.
Okay. All right.
And so that's part of it too. And then I've discovered just, maybe a year ago, that if I record the affirmations in my own voice and actually write
there you go. Yep.
And then I've actually taken it to another level. I went on one of the AI music platforms and you used my affirmations as the lyrics. And it's fucking badass.
Album's coming out. Is this a rap album?
Dude,
album's coming out.
Crazy.
RP Thor.
It is crazy good because you can also have it. Once you learn the AI, you can have it do choruses. So it's telling you, everything's good. RP Thor's here. You're
fucking awesome.
You have strength based on strength. This isn't really bothering you. You're just being sorry for yourself. You could do all those sort of things. And then the music you like, it doesn't matter. You can take any style. I did one in country.
What? Oh, wow. Holy smokes. Hip hop country mogul RP Thor album drop. Album in stores is dropping this Tuesday.
You can do it for free. I did a whole Dragons meeting for 2 hours and I taught the guys how to do it for their own affirmations.
Wow.
They came back.
Tarl told me about that the other day. Yes, that's what that was. I remember that.
Now they want to do a contest to write the new Dragons.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Yo,
maybe we'll give some signed books away or something.
That would be. I think. No, I'm serious. I think that'd be a great idea, man.
It's Suno and Udio AI.
Okay.
Either one's music generators.
Wow.
And it allows you to write your own. And here's the real kicker. So you really want to get into your subconscious?
Yeah.
You can sing in a shitty way the lyrics that you made. And then you can upload it and have it clone your voice, and then you can modify it into the style you
get out of here, man.
It auto tunes it and does a bunch of different stuff. It sounds kind of like you as if you were a trained singer.
Get the hell?
No, I'll show you later.
Dude,
But
I'm gonna
it's
be up
freaking cool.
all night fucking with this, man.
Dude, I spent weeks. It was like, holy shit.
Oh my
You know, it was
God.
doing progressive rock. I did country. I can do rap. I'm like, it's like uploaded my voice and it's like trying to work it in there. I had one where I had it sing my affirmation as if I was Jamie Joseph from Hate Breed. So I was shouting the whole time, "You're a badass!" You know, it's
Yes,
just, and
yes,
I'm
yes.
like, okay, let's go take that action of lifting weights.
It's almost like you could do like a country. I've got the red pill blues.
Oh, I'm gonna play the country one. It's freaking
Oh, this is
crazy.
gonna be
Oh
crazy.
my god,
That is gonna be fun.
It starts off with, you know, in the north there was a son born to Odin. It's crazy. He goes, he's bringing back the legends of the Vikings and stories untold.
Love it.
So it's like
Yes, I
crazy
love
shit,
it. I
you
love
know?
it. I love it.
But,
This is great.
The AI is actually pretty freaking stunning on
That
music.
is crazy. I've seen articles on it, but you're the first person that I've actually talked to in person that can verify, yes, you can really write music, you know, with your own voice through AI. That's incredible.
And the
man.
music's incredible. But you know how I did one where I like epic cinematic that builds.
Yeah, right.
And I even like some of the old Clint Eastwood stuff, the good,
Yeah.
bad, and ugly. So it
Oh
kinda
yeah,
builds.
yeah, absolutely.
You can do an affirmation in that. So as you're working out or you're doing cardio, it's building and they're singing about you and why
That
you
is
need to do this and
incredible.
drop your feelings. And you know, it's kind of esoteric, but
Sure.
this universe is bigger than you. You
You're
are
right.
just a localized version of all of this. Call it God what it is,
Yeah,
right here,
right
right
here.
now.
Yeah.
And that's why my moniker is a God amongst men.
Okay. Oh
Because we
wow.
all are.
Origin story. Yeah. No.
Yeah, we all are.
Wow. Very nice. Well,
And
that's
that helps you get through
yeah. Yeah. Of course.
that and gratitude.
Okay, that was going to be my next question, because I don't think enough people understand. I don't think they understand the power of gratitude. People think that gratitude is a one-way street. In other words, if you show someone gratitude, it benefits them. But in my mind, I think it benefits you both.
Yeah.
When you look a man in the eye, be like, hey, you know what? I appreciate you for helping me with my life. Or I watched that video, and like guys will never ever know, and I'm sure you've had this before too. You have random people in your comments, chats, probably out in public. Hey man, I watch your content. Listen, thank you very, very much for helping to change my life. How has gratitude sort of helped you through this tough time?
Well, it makes me realize I'm not alone.
Right.
And when
Good,
you're
yes.
in an injury like this, you do feel kind of alone.
Of course.
You know, because we got to face it. No one's coming to rescue us.
Yeah, you're right.
We come in alone. We're going out alone.
That's all right. That's all right.
But it gives you a bigger sense. And that's why I say it's a little esoteric. And then to do the gratitude thing, knowing, and that's in one of my affirmations, knowing that everybody is better off by knowing me. And that's the attitude I come in. That's the way I express the gratitude. I leave them better off having known me.
That's right. That's right.
Than having not known me.
Good.
And by extension, that means the world's better off for me being in it. That gives me a little bit of that power to push through.
Good.
And
Good.
and you need a little of that sometimes when the pain gets really annoying, you know. And it's funny, the psychological pain from not being able to care for the people you love. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
You know, even if you have the resources, you still want to do
You
shit.
still want to, yeah, right. Of course.
But yeah, it's having that, expressing the gratitude by everybody you meet, even if they piss you the fuck off. I've had consults that are like that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave this guy better off, even if he doesn't realize
even if he doesn't know. Yeah, right. Well, yeah. I mean, to me, that speaks to your character, right?
And even the relationships with the males and females, the intersectional dynamics.
Yes.
It could be really frustrating.
Yeah.
You got, you know, a modern woman going feral, and I still leave them better off.
Wow. So you managed to tame these feral women, man. That is
Um,
you will, dude. If you can tame a feral woman, you really are a god amongst men.
There is such thing as alpha widows,
Mhm.
and when the shit hits the fan and they reach out, you'll see that leaving them out better off is a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
Dude, Thor's got all his ex bitches, all his ex wives, all his ex girlfriends converging to take. I love it.
Yeah, they've all been really wonderful
Good.
in the times that we've had. So I don't regret any of it. Yeah.
Good. So let's shift gears here. Let's talk a little bit about the masculinity crisis here in the West. You're launching a book series that I'm definitely going to be a part of. I've already got all 4 of my stories written. Talk to me a little bit about your opinion on the masculinity crisis, because a lot of people, Thor, they think, send the asteroid. Feminism has taken over.
Yep.
It's not going to change anytime soon. It's not going to, and I've been one of these people that says, hey man, look, I mean, it's not going to change in my lifetime. What are your thoughts on the masculinity crisis, and can we get through it? Like, are we going to send the asteroid or not? What do you think?
We are absolutely going to get through it. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Right, let's do it.
Now, it may not be on the time frame we want, but
Sure.
it will absolutely happen. Here's why.
Okay.
Yeah, and in the book, A Dominant Masculine Presence. Now, I named it that on purpose to be controversial.
Of course.
Modern women hate the dominance.
Oh, of course they do.
Masculinity and all that stuff. And there's reasons. I mean, in the last 50 to 70 years, you know, masculinity has been under assault.
Right.
And from the feminist movement.
Yeah.
And since all politics has become gender politics for a very long time,
Ridiculous.
it's an easy target because the guys want to go live their lives as men. They don't need to, they don't want to be activists in this area. And so they're easy to assault. So you hear it in the media all the time and people start to believe it.
Right.
I mean, Dr. Warren Fell wrote that book on the boy crisis.
Yes.
He's not wrong.
No.
I tend to disagree with the solution. We don't need to be more feminized
No,
in
we
order
do
to do
not.
it. That's kind of a white knight, nice guy
Sure.
approach.
Yeah,
And
right.
I understand it. I really do. But in the real world, you know, I define in the book masculinity a little different.
Okay.
There's traditional masculinity.
Right.
And then I define it as conventional masculinity. There's a difference. Do you understand the difference? The difference is traditional masculinity is culture-based.
Okay.
It is different culture to culture because of what? Tradition.
Okay. That makes sense. I've never
It's
heard of
different in the Jewish tradition,
Mhm.
from the Christian tradition
Mhm.
to a tradition
Muslim.
out of Africa.
Yeah. Right.
Conventional masculinity, the way I've described it, is it crosses all cultures. It can be recognized as masculine in every culture across the world.
So that's what
That's a man.
Okay, that makes sense.
Conventional masculinity.
So traditional masculinity is masculinity according to that particular
Tradition.
to that tradition. So
Mhm.
that's going to vary from country to country, state to state. Conventional masculinity is universal.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with
No,
it. I'm
of
not
course
saying
not.
that. I'm just
No.
saying it's a much broader scope.
Okay.
And, you know, we had the run of, I mean, bless his heart, Vox did an amazing job with the social sexual hierarchy, gave us some containers to discuss traits and behaviors of masculine men.
Right.
And they called it, you know, alpha, beta, based on some mammal studies, right?
Sure.
And that was good, but I always felt it was incomplete. The
Okay.
difference between an alpha and a beta. Why did I think that? Because having watched it and consulted and worked in the real world,
Mhm.
there were guys that exhibited every trait and behavior of a beta. Massively successful with lots of respect,
Very
all
good.
of that shit.
Right.
You could use Bezos as an example. Lots of them. How did they do it? And then there was alpha guys that are complete dominant.
Yeah,
and
they're
some
chads.
is, but I mean, some were successful, some weren't. I go, why is this incomplete? Because it doesn't match. I said, it's on track. And that's when I started looking at, what they share is about 7 different skills that are above average in. Maybe 3 of them, maybe 4 of them. And they're very good at these things.
Okay.
And this creates what I called a dominant masculine presence. It
Okay.
means when they come into the room, beta, alpha or not,
People recognize it.
everybody knows the big animal, right?
Okay.
And the gals,
Oh yeah, they know. They
they
know.
call it the vibe. When the guy has
That's
it,
exactly
it's a
right.
fucking vibe.
It's a vibe. Right.
And they know it immediately.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you a little secret. More than half of my commentary on Amazon's from women 30 to 50. And it's all very good.
I'm telling you, man.
But those 7 skills, you know, it ends up being physicality, it ends up being prosperity,
Okay.
psychology,
Okay.
problem solving, which I consider a man's primary agency.
Absolutely.
Can't be a man without
You
that.
can't. Yeah. You got to be able to solve
And
problems.
then power as an influence,
Mhm.
right? And then passion.
Okay.
You level up in any 3 of those above average, and you're going to get that vibe.
Okay.
You now
All
have
right.
it. You don't have to do them all. So what I describe in the book is how can you acquire those skills, and what are those examples? In power, we talk about leadership too.
Mhm.
In presence, we talk about body language,
Right.
and countenance, your face, and your voice.
Right.
And speaking of which, we're going to get George Bruno to help us with that.
Yes. Yes.
But the way you pace your voice, the way you command attention,
Mhm.
very similar to command presence, but you're in an interactive social setting as you're speaking, and you're using your voice in conjunction with your body language, you know, You walk with a purpose. You're holding your body a certain way. You're not standing with your hands in your pockets.
Right.
And part
Down to
of
the
that,
side,
it goes even further. The overall book actually goes into identity. I talk about Jungian identity, a little bit about Nietzschean, but it's really about identity, because what you want is that reputation and identity to where you can command any audience or room, knowing your audience.
Right.
And you have to say very little. They draw the conclusions. And when they do, people draw conclusions about what you're saying. You have a lot more power.
Yeah, of course.
And you have a lot more authority and a lot more respect. And you can do that in a few ways. You can do it with appearance of power by dress.
Sure.
You didn't have to say a word.
No, you just walk into a room with a power suit and people know what's up.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you can have an identity that you always wanted, a badass Viking biker.
Yes.
And it's very unique. And the funny thing is, as you've adopted some of these traits and identities, a lot of guys have to fake it because they're not used to it. And that's okay. I'm one of those guys that says it's okay if you're pretending,
sure,
with the intent that it becomes you.
There you go.
Because at some point, it's so natural to you. Even the way you crooked smile, the way you purse your lips when you're talking, the way you're using your eyes.
Yeah. All that matters.
And when you do all of that and it's enough, you're not actually faking it. It is now you. So that makes it authentic. And that's what gives you that dominant masculine presence. It's you. You picked it. And then I kind of run through the guys. Imagine your affirmations, the people you admire, the Donovan Sharp, the Clint Eastwood, the guys that act, whoever it is, and then pick the characteristics. And I give a list.
Okay.
In the book, I give a list of masculine characteristics, traits, and behavior.
I'm actually looking around for the book, man.
I think I said it way over there by accident.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, we can show them later. They can find it. I actually go through a rather large list of masculine traits and behaviors, so it would help them imagine in their mind the type of identity they'd want to acquire these skills that we're talking about.
Right.
I even go so far as you're going to do some things that, a lot of guys would say, oh, that's creepy. You're looking at yourself in the mirror, the way you're holding your body. Absolutely. You need to.
Of course, I was going to say, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Human beings are the greatest imitators of all.
Damn right. And
to take charge of your identity and your reputation and guard it and adopt a philosophy like that, you really, really can see a change in your life. So that's what it was about. It's really directed at these guys as an alternative solution. And then the last part of the book, I offer a warning, which is a warning about some of the pop psychology out there.
Oh my God, dude. Oh, dude, don't get me started, man. Oh my God.
You can use it for learning, like the love language. I'm not a huge fan, but
I'm not a love language guy.
And then the one I really rail against is the big push in modern psychology to male vulnerability.
Yeah. Oh,
because it's a change of the language that's put there on purpose to create white knights and nice guys, which is absolutely the wrong way to do it. It's expressing weakness at all times.
Yes.
And then say that weakness is strength.
This is bullshit.
It is.
It makes positively no sense for a man to purposefully make himself weak to try to make women attracted to him. And we see it on TV. We see it in television shows and movies all the time. It's like, he's so hot because he was vulnerable with me. But off camera, that's not what they're really responding to.
There's like 6 different books by a very famous author that was pushed by Oprah. And I talk about that and why.
There you go.
But, I've read them. And if you
really,
they want to change the language, and I'm convinced.
Did you lose any? I mean, dude, you probably lost a bunch of brain cells reading that stuff, right? Like, holy shit!
Why do you think I have a stage 4 GBM?
There's the root cause, ladies and gentlemen. There's the root, and the reason why you're sitting here now is because of masculinity.
I started all this before that happened, but
sure.
One thing I did glean from it that was useful is they don't really mean vulnerability. But they do. I mean, they really want to knock everything down. And it's about Blake Slate equalism.
Yeah, but, that's bullshit.
But what they really mean, the ones that are sincere, they just want transparency sometimes.
That's all it is. That's all. Look, dude, you're absolutely right. Girls like to say, I need a man who is emotionally mature. And it's almost like it's code for, I want you to show me your weaknesses so that we can be closer. But I agree with you. When a woman says, I need a man who's emotionally mature or emotionally enlightened, they just want you to be transparent. But guess what? If you're in a relationship with a man, you got to earn that transparency. If I'm dating you for 2-3 months, I'm not telling you all my deepest, darkest secrets.
You shouldn't.
Of course not.
Never.
And Now, of course, now I've been with Devin now, good Lord, going on 9 years. I didn't have to come out and be vulnerable with her. When you're with someone that long, your vulnerabilities are going to show. We live with each other. We're with each other 24/7.
Sure.
But she's earned the right to see that vulnerability. But it makes absolutely no sense for men to be vulnerable with women they barely know. Just because you've been fucking a girl for 3 months does not mean you know her, gentlemen. Understand that.
Yeah, I'll use an example.
Okay.
Oh, a guy comes home from work and his old lady wants him to be vulnerable. He goes, "Oh, I was at work today and Joe was screaming over there. They spilled the coffee and then they stressed out.
Right.
We had so-and-so grandstand in the meeting." Do you think that's what the girls do when they come home?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you think she wants that, or does she want the guy that shows up back and goes, "Ah, it was a great day, man. It was a great day. We're going to live the dream now. We're kicking it. We did this and we did that." It's not so much an attitude, but even though all the bad stuff happened, I don't unfilter that. I don't have to say every thought on my mind.
Right.
That's not what it means. Right. And some people just got to spill all their guts out and vent. Now, there's a time and place for that.
Absolutely.
But you do that with a girl enough and it turns them off.
Not only that,
and the guys too, when you're doing business meetings.
Yes, right. Dude, when you're in business meetings and guys, you have to think of it this way. You almost have to treat your girl like a business partner.
Yes.
In such a way, you have to display masculine dominance. You have to be decisive. You have to be direct. Your colleagues respect this, and so do women, as it happens. And I don't think a lot of people put 2 and 2 together in that way.
Yeah. You want to hear a secret that's in the book?
Yeah.
All right. So there's a little bit of emotional spiking that I talk about, which is really useful when it comes to transparency and how you don't have to be vulnerable. But
of course,
you're having these conversations with women, and one of the things you can do is just look at her and tell her, "You make me feel like," and then tell her something about how she makes you feel.
There you go.
Now you can use this for good and you can use this for bad.
You can use this for evil.
It is not.
I like the look on your face. I love it.
I can use it if something's going south. I can say, "You make me feel like I want to do this," and it's like those are superpower words.
Yes,
they are spells.
Yes.
And if I say, "You make me feel good today," that's it.
Yeah,
I just took every wall down.
Day. Yeah, that'll make their day.
Because if you listen to them when they're talking to each other, that's what they say to each other
all the time. It's all feelings, dude. It's all feelings.
And what does feelings? I define feelings differently in the book so that guys can understand a little bit.
Really? Take us into that a little bit, because
this is a good one.
Okay.
And this is where I go into the last part of the book, which is called emotional durability or emotional regulation.
Wow, emotional
durability. I talk about the big 3
you
got to conquer, which is fear, anger, which also is temper, fear, anger, and then I call it sadness, but guys will get sad. And,
of course.
And so those big 3, if you use some of those techniques to get out of it and affirmations, and you could conquer any couple of them, you're going to be on a long way to where you can weather those. And I'll tell you, even with the brain injury I have, I'll wake up at night and get a flood of emotion sometimes for no freaking reason. Yeah.
Wow.
And so it works.
Okay.
And so I talk about the regulation is really important, but I'm losing my train of thought right now.
That's okay.
But
talk to me a little bit about now one thing that I think that we're all sort of transitioning in terms of this, this red pill journey that we're on. First, it starts off, okay, you got it. The PUA thing, pickup artist. Okay, I got girls. Okay, I've mastered the art of getting girls. Now we're in relationships. Okay, we've got good relationships. Now what? I think the next step is mentorship. And I think the 2 people that do mentorship the very best is MLD and you.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. Talk about the important guys. This is what is severely lacking in the red pill community is mentorship. Thor, talk to me about the importance of mentorship, reaching out to the young guys, putting them up on game, taking them under our wing, and making sure that they don't fall victim to the perils of feminism in the gynocentric society.
Yes, being awake for sure. Now, I'm going to talk about the mentorship. But bring me back to, I got my thought. Bring me back to leadership. I have a whole chapter on it.
Okay, leadership.
Because people want to talk about, I lead my relationship. Yeah. Bring me back there.
Okay, let's do
mentorship, though. Okay, guys will get into the space and they'll go through the stages of grieving. They're mad. They do it. Shoot, most of them got here by what? Trauma?
Heartbreak, sexual frustration, or both.
Yeah, that red pill. It's a suppository.
It's a suppository. That's right. We were talking about that. Yeah.
It's bumpy. But once you take it and you learn it, you kind of start to accept it. You get excited and you understand it. But you learn about it. You learn you learn, I don't want to call it principles or tenets, but there are truths. There are truths we learned about male female intersexual dimension.
Right.
And, you know, shout out to Rollo, because
Yeah.
he was one of the first to go through the boards and actually codify this in ways that are easy to deny.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You did too with womanese.
Yes.
Holy shit. Those are very true.
Yeah.
It's about using feelings in language.
There you
That's
go.
what they do.
That's right.
And
it's a superpower.
It. We don't. But
there,
now we
there
do.
You go. Now we
have a translator.
Yeah.
Is that going to be in my iPhone? Translate womanese.
God, that would be. Oh my God. You know what?
You got to make an app.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. There was actually one guy who purchased the womanese course, and the guy actually wanted to develop an app. But I had to call him out on it, be like, dude, you can't, this is copyrighted. This is copyrighted information. But no, I totally agree, man. I'm with you 100%.
And so back to having known these guys for years, like a lot of content creators and stuff, I haven't known them from before they were making YouTube. And then getting their fans and working with MLD and hundreds of men.
Oh yeah.
A lot of them learn this stuff. They do well in their lives. And now, like in my group or in Paul's group or someone, what's next? It's like, what do you mean what's next? He goes, well, we're self-improving.
Yeah.
Well, there's lots out there. And I said, well, just, you know, we're working on this and that. And I said, well, the next thing is, you really want this thing to grow. You want it to actually take root and fix the problems. It's not the asteroid. It's a mentorship.
Right.
You now mentor somebody else through this journey.
Yeah.
And that actually is a big deal.
It is. It
not just in the red pill.
Right.
It's as a man who ages through his life and becomes mature, becomes that old mentor, that old Greek sage.
Yeah.
And that's super rewarding. I got that when I was training apprentice power to work on the power grid, keeping them aligned.
Yeah.
A lot of times I ended up having to work with them half the time on their relationship skills.
Really?
Just so they could keep their head in the game.
Okay.
Because if they make a move, they kill themselves or their brothers.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like their life literally depends on it.
It does.
Yeah.
And especially if you're doing long line work or live line, bare hand type stuff where you're wearing a steel suit, you know, 500,000 bolts bonding on. You got to keep your head in the game. So
Jesus Christ. One lapse in conversation and it's over.
You know, part of what we do is something called triple talk, or it's your talk out loud while you're doing stuff, so that you literally hear your voice saying, I'm going to move that from that line to this line. And it keeps you from making mistakes.
Wow.
No, it's really true.
So you're thinking out loud.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Especially, I got my hand on breaker number 1. Verify breaker number 1. Okay, breaker number 1. I'm going to energize now. Energizing line 1, gambler 12 kV now.
Holy shit. So you're like narrating what you're doing.
You have to.
How
and
about
if there's
that?
another man there, he repeats it to you.
Wow. So you guys are, so it's almost like you guys are like almost like a chain link fence. Like you guys need each other. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Man.
So that's where I learned that. And then I would mentor the guys in that. And I realized that mentoring the guys gave me lifelong friends. And then every mentee you have teaches you something.
Yes, that is very true.
You actually get so much better. So when a guy wants a next step beyond the red pill, there are many more levels. But
yes, there are.
You have to start teaching this to somebody that doesn't know. And then you learn from them and you go, oh, wow. And then that's how you level up.
Wow. You know what? It's interesting. A lot of guys look up to us like we know everything. We don't know everything. We just happen to sort of figure out what it is to, I guess, sort of be successful with women. But I think the reason why so many men, so many people are drawn to this community is because if you can figure out how to be good with women, it really does make it makes other aspects of your life very, very easy. Just like you were talking about the differences between the alphas and the betas. There are successful betas out there, and you wonder how in the world are these people so successful. Then you've got the alphas out here who are successful with women, but they might not necessarily be successful in life. To me, it's the total package. Okay, it's great to get your black belt in women, but if you don't use your skills to enrich other parts of your life, then what is it all for? You're just going to use your superpowers just to fucking new bitches every day? Like eventually that gets old too, right?
Well, what happens to every player after being in the game for a while?
Man, I'm trying to tell you, man.
Not graduate.
They graduate, dude. It happened. Listen, it happened. Now, don't get me wrong. Is there the occasional lifelong bachelor? 60, 65-year-old still running through hose? Yeah. But that's the exception to the rule. We all have to move on at some point. And I think there are a lot of guys in this community who are sort of struggling. They're like, okay, I've got my black belt in women. Like, what do I do now?
Yeah, exactly. Start collecting 304s, right?
Yep,
No,
there you go.
I'm just
Yep,
kidding.
304. Yeah, that's what you do.
Hey, look at my 304
All right, my
collection.
304 collection. Right.
Donovan, come over to my basement. Look at my 304 collection.
Oh, while in the basement. Oh boy.
But no,
NSFW. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the whole point of the dominant masculine presence was to try to get the guys back on track with understanding that their presence and how they project themselves into reality actually shapes reality.
Okay.
It actually does.
Wow.
So as you perceive it and act upon it, it becomes true. I know they're going to say, man, that's esoteric. That's law of attraction.
I think I agree. I am 100% aligned with you.
And I don't think guys do that enough.
No, they don't.
Or they misinterpret what that means.
Okay.
And a lot of people have, and I'm okay with it, but they read the title of that book, A Dominant Masculine Presence, how to project your will upon reality to make everything around you better for yourself and for those around you.
Right.
And they go, oh man, you're just puffing up and you're going to be that loud, obnoxious guy with Dunning-Kruger. It's not that at all. It's not the guy that has the artificial lat syndrome.
Of the group. Yeah, right.
It's none of those
artificial. Things. Did you say artificial lat syndrome?
Yeah, and we all know it because we see the guys that come in and they dominate the conversation by name dropping all the shit they've done.
Yes, that's all they do. Well, I was chilling out with Andrew Tate the other day. We're lifting squats, bro. And he said to me, I just bought another private jet. I said, bro, me too. They're like, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like, come on now.
And they just disclose everything on them and they puke out everything on their mind.
Yes.
Or they'll even do worse. They'll talk shit on their friends so that they look better. That's the worst.
Unbelievable, dude.
And that is a man that's really not in control. And really, having a dominant masculine presence is about a man that's in control, not controlling. And those exhibited behaviors that lead to Dunning-Kruger, overconfidence, the need to be right so much that you comment on everything. Yes. And then there's a meeting and you have to grandstand above everybody else. It's like that is not what that is.
No.
That actually puts you in kind of not a good position.
No, it does not.
But so the book addresses that.
Okay.
Because, my mentor originally as a power lineman, he's still out there. He's Jay. He saved me when I got burned. He picked me up like a baby and carried me out of the vault. Yeah. But I worked with that man for a lot of years, and he's probably
Is he still on the lines?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's out here somewhere in Nevada.
Holy shit.
Jay is a former long-range recon patrol guy during the Vietnam War for First AmeriCal. He's killed people. But that guy, he understood it enough. He was also a Golden Gloves boxer.
Jesus Christ.
And he mentored me in line work. And Jay was the guy I'd go to the meetings with, and he would say like 2 words, and then the meeting would go on, everybody grandstand, and then
they respected Jay.
Something would come up and he'd say 1 paragraph and fucking pin drop.
Everybody listens. Yeah.
And he didn't have to act like nothing.
Right.
That's reputation. That's a dominant masculine presence. And that's where I learned it.
Okay.
And that was powerful. And guess what? That happened when they had the executive staff out doing their yearly annual meet the groups. They all like stop and listen to
Who is this guy? Yeah, right.
And in fact, I've heard them say, who's that? Oh, it's Jay. Been around 30 years. He's one of our top linemen. Holy shit, Yeah. It's one of the things is the way he carried himself.
Of course.
He didn't disclose any of that shit about what he did.
He didn't have to.
But people knew.
Yeah,
it's like amazing. How do you get that? You have to become that.
Yes. Right.
And that's what the book's about, is you become that, over time, by putting that in your head, doing some of the exercises.
Yeah,
I go into detail on that, and then I go into leadership, because I think that's a form of leadership.
Yes, I was gonna. That's what we're gonna talk about next, is leadership. Talk about the importance of leadership.
Right. It's become so extremely popular to do this servant leader thing, which is not leadership at all.
No,
it's leading by consensus, and that's not a good thing.
Okay.
Good leaders, I use examples in there, and I talk about transformational and inspirational leadership.
Okay. And the differences between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, there's really good books out there, like by Jocko on ownership.
Oh, Jocko Willings. Yeah. Very, of course.
But so I went a different tack of leadership, not in that context, but in context of your own life as becoming inspirational or transformational.
Okay.
Whereas you actually inspire people to become transformed in their life.
Holy shit. And
you're not
2
doing
birds,
it
1
on
stone.
purpose, but you're showing it by example, through the way you present yourself, your identity, how you live your life, and how you step out of your life to help them live their life, even if it's something minor. And then I use some examples in corporate America in the last 10 years. And this is where I really get slammed, because I point out I point out the CEO of Yahoo that took him from 12 billion to 4 billion.
Oh boy.
and well, she went and did some stuff that was very sexist and very politically correct, and she incorporated it into their performance reviews, and it caused Yahoo to be bought, and they lost the company. And it's very documentable, so it's all true.
Okay,
but it described that servant leadership model that she adopted. And then I also went after Theranos, where you remember the gal from Theranos?
Oh my God, Theranos. Oh, what was her name? Elizabeth.
Elizabeth Holmes.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah.
Now
the female Steve Jobs or whatever the fuck her name was.
She's very good at marketing, but she did that servant leadership thing too. But she took it in a different tack with the marketing. But it was all fake. It
was all a scam. Yeah.
But here's the thing: she believed it. She believed her own Kool-Aid. She drank her own Kool-Aid. And so I kind of describe why
you really believe Elizabeth Holmes believed that those machines really. Wow.
I really do.
How about that?
Well, she had that boyfriend too.
Yeah, the Indian guy.
Yeah, and she didn't really know about the technology, so
that was his job.
She did know once they got into it.
Oh, of course.
Now the ball's rolling. You got to keep kicking it.
Yeah, right. I mean, dude, the cat's out of the bag or the cow's out of the barn. You have to keep up with the lies, and eventually it all came crashing down.
It sure did. I just described why that leadership style, why it's so easy to adopt. And you can see that politically too. To make decisions by consensus is not so cool. A real good leader needs to be able to zoom out and zoom in.
Yes.
Very quickly.
Yes.
And do they ask their subordinates for advice? They do, but they trust their subordinates to feed them the advice when it's needed at the right time, because they pick the right people that do the same thing.
Of course.
And so now they're making quick decisions, very good ones. And sometimes that inspirational leadership comes off as he's just an asshole. Yeah, but he's the asshole you need.
That's right.
Look at Elon Musk.
There you go. He's a dick, but guess what? He's a leader.
He's the one you need. So, and he's lifted everybody up around him, if not the entire world. So I use some of those examples in the book as leadership that you can model a little bit. I mean, you don't have to be exactly like them, but as you inculcate leadership into your own style and reputation, it's important, because we tell men you got to lead your relationships with women.
Of course.
Well, you have to do it with every relationship you have. And sometimes part of leadership is to subordinate yourself to better leadership.
There you go.
Now, how do they do that? I remember I had this one gal call in, and she was really upset. Her husband wasn't leading. They've been married for a long time. It really wasn't leading.
Okay. She couldn't respect him if he couldn't lead, right?
No, it was the bedroom issue.
Oh.
But it took me 15 minutes to get there.
Oh my God.
But she called it leadership.
So that's what.
Nice,
Okay, that makes sense.
But I mean, to do that is not to be so controlling. It's to be in control of yourself and your destiny. Man, women love it when you're in control of your destiny. Why do you think they double down on men that they think is a safe bet?
Shit, man. Because they like men. He's in control. Yeah.
So I try to put some of that into the book. And then with those 7 skills that I discussed in identity.
Yeah, the P's.
Yeah, I went in the hospital a few months ago with a side effect of the brain tumor and the damage. And when I came out, I talked to my Dragons group, the rest of the guys in the Manosphere, and I said, I have 3 books, almost 4 in draft.
Okay.
I can't put these together. With the dyslexia. You guys want to help? Well, what do you got in mind? I said, I'm thinking of an encyclopedia series based on the original book. You get to pick a few skills and then put your experiences with these skills and why they were important to you as you were coming through this process of your life. You can start from the beginning.
Yes.
You can share your Batman story. You could do all of that. But say you pick prosperity and you're one of those guys that has done so well with yourself. Tell me the story. And
how did you do it?
Now you have a book that's in the series based on a dominant masculine presence, and we're calling it The Essential Skills of a Masculine
There you go, man. There you go.
By somebody that's already here, that's already done it, that's experienced. And guess what? At the end of the day, you're the author.
That's right.
I just want to write the forward, and I want to write the last chapter, and I want to talk about the person that I know, which is going to be you, Donovan, when we do this.
There you go.
And the rest is yours. And so we all have a different experience when it comes to these skills. And so how cool would it be to have 8 to 12 of these over the next 13 months?
God almighty.
That every guy can go to and say, wow, this is how Donovan dealt with.
Yeah, it's an encyclopedia. Yeah.
And that's a little different than here. I like this one. This one's more me.
Yeah, right,
As I develop and create my identity as a dominant presence. Now I have a guidebook.
Yes.
They always tell us in the Red Pill, you guys get the descriptions, right? But you don't do the prescriptions.
Oh,
we're going.
God.
We're going.
No solutions. All you do is complain.
No, we're not going to do prescriptions. You know what we're going to do? We're doing tech school.
There you go.
We're doing a trade school.
There you go. Goddamn right.
We're going to send you to trade school on it. And this is the textbooks. So
this is an unbelievable project.
And we've got 4 now.
Oh, good. And mine will be number 5. Dude,
yeah.
I'm going to tell you what, man. A lot of people have heard surface level my origin, my red pill origin story. So what I'm going to do is my stories are the 4, I call them the Fab 4. The 4 relationships that had the biggest impact on me in terms of eventually finding the red pill. And, most of my fans and audience, they know surface level details of the things that I've talked about. But in this, when I write this for you, I'm going from point A to point Z. And guys, it's going to be cringe. I'm going to warn you, it's going to be cringe, but I didn't get this way without going through the fire. And I think a lot of guys need to understand that guys like you and me, we didn't come out of the womb like this. We had to, we had to fall down. We had to scrape our knees. We had to get injuries. Like we really, really had to just sort of go through the fire and really kind of suffer in order to acquire and attain this knowledge. And I'll tell you something, Thor, most men don't make it out. Most men don't make it out. They get used and abused and cheated on by girls so often. A lot of guys just kind of give up. They let their health go. They let their mentality go. And, next thing you know, you're another spineless, feminine man walking around that hates women. And that's not where this community should be headed, man.
No, I agree with that completely. There's the pill has so many truths in it. And if you can accept it, you're great. But boy, that gelatin capsule that it's around, it is nothing but bitterness for sure.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Hey,
and it can be so useful to you. And of course, saying red pill stuff is kind of been acquired by all the politics and since politics or gender politics.
Yeah, right.
It's really beyond that. We in our last meeting, we kind of wanted to make a different analogy.
Okay.
And so what we did is we said, what would be a good one? And somebody said, They Live, the movie They Live. And I go, oh, no shit. That is one hell of an analogy. Yeah. And that's the one where Roddy Piper goes to that community and he finds the glasses, the Hoffman glasses, and when you put them on, there's a signal being broadcast.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the signal of feminism, but it's being broadcast worldwide. That. And when he puts the glasses on, it allows his brain to see through the signal, and he sees the signs that say obey, consume, breed. Yeah. And it says, and then you look at the leaders in charge and they're all aliens, seriously ugly aliens.
There you go. See?
And one of the big themes of it is the people that know would say, they live, we sleep. So we want to reverse that. We live, they
sleep. Goddamn.
That's the red pill. We live, they sleep with the blue pill. But the analogy was you put the glasses on, now you see.
Yeah.
That came out before The Matrix, by the way.
Did it?
It did.
Oh, okay.
I encourage everybody to go watch it.
The Matrix, but
no,
about that?
That was with Roddy
Piper, man.
An 80s movie. Yeah. 80s
almighty, wow.
Yeah. And so the aliens were all in charge, and they had been since World War II. It's like nobody knew unless they found these special glasses they could put them on and then see them because they were broadcasting the signal. Maybe propaganda, maybe whatever, maybe cultural.
I think you're right. I think you're right on all those, man.
Sometimes artwork really reflects.
It does. Art absolutely reflects life. So as we round third and head for home, I don't want to keep you,
no worries.
Too much longer. One of the, to me, and I want to go back to the leadership thing. To me, one of the most important aspects of leadership, and this is in your relationship, your business relationships, your sexual relationships, your marriages, girlfriends, whatever the case may be, is you want to get it right. You don't have to be right. A lot of people misconstrue being a leader as I'm going to take charge and what I say goes and it's my way or the highway. It is that to a degree, but you have to be able to discern. So for example, if I encounter a problem with my website, right, I'm going to defer to Devin's expertise because she has more experience in that than I do. And if I say, well, Devin, I want you to do X, Y, and Z, she'll say, okay, Donovan, I understand why you want to do X, Y, and Z, but this is why we should do A, B, and C. A bad leader is like, no, bitch, it's my way or the highway. You're going to do X, Y, and Z. A good leader is, okay, I understand what she's saying. Ultimately, I'm going to be the one to make the call anyway. You know what? I'm going to defer to your expertise. We're going to go with A, B, C. Talk to my audience about the importance of being able to at least, give the illusion of maybe ceding some power, still, still having that respect, but also letting other people know and understand that, okay, wait a minute, this guy is not really a dictator. This guy really is a leader. He doesn't want to be right. He wants to get it right.
Yeah. No, that's really important. And as a leader, a lot of times you're going to plant seeds that, of what you would like to see done. And if they don't happen, that's fine. We'll just defer it to some other time.
Of course.
And you'll be amazed at how much of those grow and they defer back to your leadership. But
and sometimes you're a living example of this.
Yeah. And sometimes as a leader, you want to do something. And unfortunately, we all get sucked into using sign language. The Kevin Samuels sign language.
Oh, yes. Shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right.
And if you could check yourself on that, you'll do just fine with that. But yeah, you do need to have deference. Particularly with a long-term relationship. They're there because the two of you together are better than apart.
There you go.
And I'll tell the guys when I talk about on my lectures, the principles of a long-term relationship. Well, how do I know? I said, we've been together for a while. You'll come to a realization. I've heard guys say, well, if she did this, I would know she's the one. There's no one. But what there is there is a point where you can be really straightforward and pragmatic. And you can say, is my life a lot better off with her in it?
Yeah.
And how would it be without her in it? And imagine it and look around and go, oh shit, this is going to be really good. Now it's time.
There you go.
And that's a really good way to look at it. And that's a leadership quality of acknowledging what's actually in front of you in real life. Objective truth, not so much. I mean, you gotta understand empirical truth, objective truth, and then you got to understand that everybody has my truth, and that's just perception,
right? Of course.
And you have to take that kind of as a division factor. It's going to be there, but it's not the end all be all.
Right.
The pragmatism is much better. And for you, like on the website, she's better than you at it.
That's right.
It's like, it reminds me back when Van Halen was playing. And they got Sammy Hagar.
Yes.
Sammy Hagar is a badass fucking guitarist. Badass to the bone. I met him.
And vocals
we
too.
grew up in the same city.
No shit.
Yeah. Another story.
Okay.
I know everybody.
Fucking Sammy Hagar.
So they asked Sam.
Everybody thought Van Halen when David Lee Roth went and did his solo career. They said, okay, they got this guy Sammy Hagar, dude. The Van Halen was bigger than ever with Sammy Hagar. Yep. That's how good he was. Anyway, sorry about that, guy.
And then they had an interview, and I'll never forget, man. This is important, and it's a wise statement. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy Hagar expressed some leadership that you can all learn from. We can all learn from. They asked him, he goes, Sammy, you're an amazing guitarist. Look at this song, that song you did. You are amazing. How come you're not doing more of that on Van Halen? He goes, well, I'll tell you, I have probably the world's greatest guitarist standing next to me. Why would I not just unleash him and let him do what he does?
There you go. And you're talking about Eddie Van Halen.
Eddie Van Halen.
There you go. Of course.
And then he'd pick him up on his shoulder and walk him around.
Yeah.
And it's like, shit, that's some leadership right there. He was able to recognize his own limitations. Wow. Isn't that what Clint Eastwood said?
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Recognize his own limitations and then leverage that. Yeah.
Off topic. To me, the three greatest guitar players of all time, in no particular order: Eddie Van Halen, Slash, and Zakk Wylde.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Zakk Wylde is. I'm sorry about that, guys.
No worries. But his comment on it was expressing leadership in public.
Really
enhanced.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Sammy fucking Hagar.
But Sammy's pretty badass too.
Of course he is. Of course he is. Of course he is.
He can hold his own, but
and he drives a lot faster than 55.
And so he was really confident in his own skills.
Yeah.
But then he also recognized what this other guy had put in.
Mm-hmm.
And in that opportunity, he did what a leader that is inspirational and transformational would do. And you can't say that Van Halen wasn't transformational.
Oh, absolutely.
So those kind of examples I really appreciate, that. And I think that's a good example.
Good stuff, man. All right, I'll read these super chats and then I'll ask you one last question. I think it's really going to make you think. Ken Rose with the $5 super chat. Appreciate that very, very much. 360 Days with Diabolical Man says, you two look like brothers. I mean, you are brothers. Absolutely. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, Maximum Stream says, just here to drop a quick like, back to work. Keep up the solid work, brother. Dominant masculine presence there. Alex Huds is in the chat. P-Dub says, we need this collab, Don and RP Thor. Absolutely. Ice Dragon Kid says, let's go in-person meetup. Absolutely. Phoenix Light Game says, Donovan, you said it many, many times throughout the years. Guys, you cannot control women. What you can control is your life and your reaction. All you're doing is responding to the choices your woman makes. Wow, very good comment.
Yeah.
CDL with the $20 super chat says, RIP to my favorite wrestler, Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, man. Yeah, Rowdy was the guy. So I wanted to end it on this. And this is sort of a question that I've asked a lot of people, and I always get different opinions. Where does the red pill go from here? The red pill has gone through a lot of stages. There was the PUA artist, there was the pickup stage, Roosh V, mystery. Then it sort of moved into sort of the intellectual phase, Rollo Tomasi, the rational male, illimitable man, et cetera, et cetera. Now the red pill has certainly evolved over the years. It's gone mainstream. You see, like you said, politicians are now getting into gender politics, using red pill talking points. Donald Trump among them. Where do you see this community going? Let's say, God, it's all rapidly evolving. Where's the red pill in 5 years, do you think?
That's a really good question. I haven't put a lot of thought into it, but I know that the gender part will calm down and the more pragmatic side of the red pill will stay in place.
Good.
And we'll probably have more pragmatic discussions now. I mean, not to slam too much, but I know that the neocon Christians, I really like us as a bad guy because we're an easy bad guy because we actually have a lot in common when it comes to certain relationship ideas and truths. But boy, they need a bad guy, and we're an easy target.
We're easy targets,
and we like to do, all of us like to do binary choices. So the red pill likes to throw out binary choices, and it's kind of our own fault in order to go mainstream.
It is, and
it's not the complete picture. So I think we have a huge opportunity coming up, particularly with like the book series. And we do really good in the self-improvement space. I mean,
we do.
When you look at the consults, I mean, heck, I know that I don't know how long, but I know that after the election and things calm down, people still need relationships.
That's right.
Truth. They need to be able to interact, and they need leadership. And I can tell you this much. One of the proudest things that I can think of right now is I was watching the YouTubes, and the vernacular of a dominant master presence is now being talked about. Even though Ryan Taraban used my vernacular.
Plagiarism.
No, not at all. I want them to.
Yeah, listen, Thor is not like most of us. No. He doesn't care who uses this.
Not at all. And it's not really done in a divisive way. It's done in a straightforward way to give that guide of what this is, because I think we lost sight of what masculinity is because of the assault for the last 50 to 70 years.
Yeah, right.
And everybody went along with it because of servant leadership. Oh yeah, let me defer.
Yeah,
no, we don't need to defer.
No,
we can stand up and say, yeah, we're not doing that. We're going to do something better for all of us. We don't have to be assholes about it, but here's why. And we got to be more thoughtful. And so, I even hear PBD talking about the future is bright. I think the future for what we do is actually bright because there are still truths that we haven't discovered.
There are a lot of them.
And we need to share those notes, Donovan.
Yeah,
and get pragmatic about it again. And there's always going to be those discoveries, and there's going to be those talents that come along that codify it, like Rollo did with his original book.
Yes,
you did with Womanese.
Yeah, that's right.
And those are the guys we want to reach out and mentor.
That's right.
And they will bring a whole new audience and a whole new group of guys onto this, which is ultimately better for us. And it brings us to the philosophy of the Dragon Ship panel show.
There you go.
The Dragon Ship panel show, which you will always have an invite.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm going to see you jump in because you're so good at these topics.
Well,
but the philosophy is this. The philosophy of the Dragon Ship is us on the Dragon Ship is that a rising tide lifts all ships.
That's right.
And we are that rising tide.
That's right.
So, and that would help us keep more of a positive stance, which
Agreed.
May not feed the logarithm.
Hey, but guess what? But it's the truth.
It will live on.
Yeah, that's right.
Very good. Where these controversies where we just want to overtalk each other and argue.
God. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm seeing it now. I'm so laughing. I'll give you guys a red pill moment you can never forget. Anybody watch any TV these days, something has come up in conversation now.
Okay.
People will converse and they'll want to have a conversation. And as they degrade into debates, instead of saying, a lot of people say, it's now shortened to no.
What?
Pay attention.
Wow. How about that?
Someone will be making a comment, and then the first word out of somebody's mouth in order to respond is no, this.
Yeah, right.
So you're just saying no to say no.
Just to say no. Yeah, there it is.
So I've been noticing this, and I'm like, this is creepy, but it is actually becoming popular. Just say no.
Yeah.
Even if you're in agreement, it's like, no.
Why would you?
I think we're shortening, as an interjection.
I
But pay
agree.
attention to that. You'll
Okay,
see. If
I
you're
think
watching any content, guys out there, watch, especially where there might be a debate or a disagreement. It's funny.
All
It's
right,
really
I'm gonna definitely
funny.
check that out.
And I think that's just cultural popular. I'm serious. Why would you start responding to say no and then
wait? You don't agree? No, I do agree.
yeah,
unbelievable. It's clown world. It's crazy.
No, I agree.
Unbelievable.
I'm just telling you because it's funny. It's one of those things that's very similar.
So
to
you
red
picked
pill.
up on it. That's
yeah.
funny.
Once you see it, well, I really try to be an observer as much as I can.
Sure.
And then try to be objective and discuss it with the guys. But back to the dragon ship, sometimes we debate on there. We don't always agree.
No, that's a good thing.
But we want to exchange notes because ultimately we want what's useful and what does lift all those ships.
Absolutely.
And our audience is our ship. So we invite everybody to climb aboard that dragon ship.
Okay.
We got plenty of room. We got oars and we got shields.
Damn right.
To the shield wall, Vikings.
Damn right, baby. Damn right. What's next for Thor?
What's next? We're gonna get some clean MRIs. Right
Okay, damn right.
And then we're gonna quit the goddamn chemo.
There you go. Okay. Hey, that's a good place to start.
We're gonna get some recovery, and we're gonna start packing some muscle back.
There we go.
And we're gonna finish book. I have my book coming out, which it might take a little more time into next year, but we're gonna push. And my skill of a masculine presence, the first one I have a couple, but my first one I really wanted to concentrate on was not only the mentorship, but the first one is just being durable.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I like that emotional durability as well.
I like that one. And then the one that is almost done is it's called The Superhero Inside.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is about your inner monologue. You know that 30% of people don't engage in their inner monologue.
That explains a lot, actually, to be honest with you, man. That explains a lot.
You have to have that inner monologue to have certain thought patterns.
Sure. Right.
And if you can learn to control that, I mean, you can even go so far to create that superhero inside that has its own Batman origin story.
There you go. Right.
And it is now your, what I called the third party observer in the original book, but he's also your mentor. And really you think rather fast. So you can consult with this quickly and get to, he can oppose you, and you could be that conscious. He could be a little devil, or he can be the little angel. And because of the ability to self-talk like that, it helps you with your primary agency, which is problem solving.
Yes.
And to be a man in this society, if you look across conventional masculinity, there's rites of passage to prove this.
Right.
You must be a problem solver. There is nothing else. While women can have their sexuality as their primary agency because they're so valuable.
Sure.
They're valuable. Yeah. They have babies and they're valuable to us. But a man is not valuable unless what?
Unless we have agency, unless we're
problem solvers. Yeah, and so I consider that a man's primary agency. And that's what we want to arrive at. So, having that inner monologue, the superhero inside, what superhero would you be? Batman? Or would you be? I'd
be Batman because Superman is a simp. Superman's a simp. He's got one eye just for Lois Lane. Bruce Wayne runs through all the hoes in Gotham. He runs through all the hoes in Gotham. And plus, I think that Batman is probably one of the most original he's probably the only true superhero because he doesn't have any superpowers except for what? Problem solving.
Exactly.
And the reason why he's a problem solver is because he's not the Man of Steel. He is vulnerable. He can't just go in and just start wrecking shit. No, he has to do things strategically. That's what the utility belt is. The utility belt solves the problem. The mask solves the problem. So I would be Batman.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree with you. Actually, I think that's a really good choice. There's plenty of good choices that you can make. I mean,
maybe Tony Stark, Iron Man. That's
exactly.
He's a brilliant problem solver.
I mean, and if you're not Thor, Thor's cool, but think of it this way. And let me just have some fun with the Christians out there. Thor is obviously he is a god amongst men, and he is his demigod. And just to give you a little bit of juxtaposition, Jesus was sent down here by God, and he was sent to, be tortured, killed on the cross, and sacrifice himself for so that sin and evil could be abolished.
There you go. That's it.
Thor was sent by Odin, and he was given this massive hammer and told to go kick the bad guys' fucking ass.
Kick their ass.
So there is a little difference.
Just a little bit.
And here's my proof. So where's all the evil and sin gone? But Thor was also tasked with eliminating the frost giants.
There you go.
Do you see any frost giants?
Not lately. Not lately.
So it's nice to be a god amongst men.
He is RP Thor. Look, man, thank you so very much for making time for us, dude. This guy drove all the way from California to Reno to be with us here today. I greatly appreciate you coming out. Appreciate your friendship, your mentorship. And yeah, I will definitely be making regular appearances on the Dragon Ship because I think the Dragon Ship, I think it provides a lot of value to a lot of guys.
Oh, thank you, man. Absolutely. Can you tell me a little bit about the CME? I mean, originally we were going to come out here and do the CME.
Yeah.
What's your plans?
So the plan. So as you guys have probably already deduced, had to postpone the CME. A lot of attacks on our websites, payment processors. We have postponed the CME until the spring. I will have a date. I'll probably have a date within the next month or so. But what Devin and I are going to do, we're going to have to actually invest a little bit more money in, internet security. We're probably going to go with a privatized merchant account.
Okay.
A high risk merchant account. That way, people can't just report us and say, "Hey, these guys are getting together." Unfortunately, and look, we saw the attacks coming. We didn't, and I got to tell you, I underestimated them. I thought that rising, every time we rose from the ashes and overcame something else they did, it was always something else. On our road trip over here, we had 30,000 bot attacks on our websites, and it continued when we got here. So we're gonna have to change a few things, on the administrative side. But yeah, so the spring of 2025 is when the CME is postponed until, and of course all of the ticket holders, and I think 95% of ticket holders they've chose to roll it over, and of course you'll be invited. Yep. We'll have speakers, but we're going to do the action adventure thing that we had planned on before. So very much looking forward to that. It's going to be very, very well planned, very well thought out, and hopefully free of all of the riffraff from the CME's past. So that's what
that's a wise choice. And I'll tell you, because of politics,
that's exactly
I think that
right.
It's even worse because it's not only the politics that needs a bad guy. Such an easy bad guy.
I'm telling you,
and
man.
they can get with what the DHS did with the red list.
Oh my God,
it's easy to get the activists to get at you. They don't even know. It's just that's the bad guy. Go get him.
And the interesting thing is a lot of the people that were the main guy attacking us, he's supposedly on our side, but all he does now is attack our side. And so, it's just one of those things. And I think he took advantage of the current political climate. So once we get past November 5th, hopefully the algorithms will start to sort of ease up a bit. Hopefully, just reporting people, the self-policing thing, hopefully that doesn't continue to be a problem. But I agree. I think the political climate I think it was definitely a factor in that. Hell, Bush was supposed to play here in this very building. They put their event off until February. So, there are a lot of delays, a lot of postponements. Unfortunately, there have been some cancellations. This will not be one of them. Like I said, we're going to go into 2025, with our heads held high. Yeah. And I think this new style of CME is really going to sort of be the wave of the future.
So I have one question for you, and I think you're absolutely right. There will be political fatigue.
Yes,
and that's our saving grace because our information is perennial.
That's right. That's exactly
Where do you think the red pill is going to go next year and the year after?
Oh my God, that is a good. Oh, I've never been asked that question. You know what? I think the red pill, I think the communities at large, I think they're going to get smaller, but I think we're going to be a little bit more galvanized. Okay. I think because I don't know if you've noticed this, Thor, but most of our detractors are our own people now. Yeah. It's crazy. I remember 5, 6, 8 years ago, it was always the feminists that attacked us. Now the feminists don't even pay attention to us because we're attacking each other now. There are so many, and it's funny because when you're anti-red pill, the YouTube algorithm favors you. So, and of course, men being deductive problem solvers said, okay, if I want to be a big YouTube channel, all I got to do is attack the red pill, regardless of what I think. Well, yeah, logic, the logic would tell you that that's the way to go. Unfortunately, that's created a lot of infighting, a lot of backbiting, hit pieces, et cetera, et cetera. Sure. I think the red pill is here to stay because it is absolutely the truth. It's not an ideology. It is the truth. We are telling it like it is. I think the red pill probably stays where it's at. It could go mainstream, but I think if it goes mainstream, I think that's a bad thing because the more eyeballs that are on us mainstream, I think the worse it is for us. But I think the red pill community will probably it's going to get smaller because it's not chic or trendy to be red pill anymore. But I think that over the next couple of years, I think it's going to galvanize the community to be even stronger. Not going to be as big, but I think we'll be stronger.
Wow, that's really good. I'm going to speculate a little bit here in conspiracy land, but
let's do it.
I think you're absolutely right, and I think that we scraped the mainstream really hard.
Yes, we did.
And the response is, and my proof is what the DHS did with the hit list, and it makes me. I'm old enough to realize that this looks like a co-intel operation.
Yes, it does.
And if you know what co-intel is,
oh my God.
As we get political fatigue, we would be in a position to have more quality and smaller, and that'll be our saving grace that the future is bright. But if you don't know what co-intel is, this is how they would attack groups in the 60s and 70s.
Yep. There you go.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Yeah.
It's literally the same thing.
And then you got placed on a list, and now it's game on for everybody in the world.
Thankfully for me, and it's interesting, my channel is pretty much, it's relative to other red pill channels, not as big, not as relevant, but one thing's for sure, I'm still monetized. So I haven't been demonetized yet. Knock on wood, but that's the one thing I think that's the one thing that sort of keeps me going is okay. I'm not on any hit list, at least not yet.
No.
And that's the thing. It's like I want to grow, but the more you grow, the bigger a target. Dude, look at Pearl, look at Fresh and Fit. I mean, that's just, dude, Andrew Tate, Kevin Samuels before he passed away. That's just it's kind of a blessing and a curse.
It is.
But listen, if we want to get this information out there, we got to keep on keeping.
But longevity said something. I mean,
that's right.
You're probably the first guy I saw on YouTube,
and I'm still around. I'm still around, man.
And you are, man. I remember the Black Manosphere days. I love all that stuff. I watch it all. It was really good. So
shout out to O'Shea.
Yep.
Thor, again, man, thank you so much for making time for us today, man. Really, really appreciate it. That is going to do it for this special edition of, I guess, TSR Live on the road. I'm actually going to be doing a live stream in about another hour and a half about a big time story that just came out of the place that Devin and I just moved from, which was Cherry Hill, New Jersey. It is being overrun by niggas. Stay tuned. We'll see you guys soon.
Skull.